Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Oh, no, we don't have the jelly spotters with us. We're never going to be able to catch King Jellyfish.
So is Bubble Buddy wearing a hat, or is that his head?
He has a hat on.
It's a hat. It is a hat because the episode before that, he's just the bottom part, and then at the end he blows himself a hat out of bubbles in order to wear it when he leaves. Yeah. Oh, one thing I also like is that the jellyfish sings the theme song to the level in the shower. It's a peanut butter. Oh, you see, I'm a dumbass. It's a peanut butter shower curtain because he's a jellyfish. Oh wow, I suck. Anyway, this boss, if you wait until later in the game to have the cruise bubble power up, you can beat in literally 10 seconds. Because it will always take damage. The hitbox on the top part of the jellyfish will always take damage. It's just that you can't reach up there. But the cruise bubble can go wherever you point it. So if you wait to do this mission till then, you could be done with this in a matter of seconds. I mean, granted, it's a really easy boss with that, no matter what, but still.
Why have the shower curtain on only one side?
I don't know.
Why have a shower curtain underwater?
Hey, SpongeBob, if we're underwater, then how can there be a fire?
Four parts.
So we beat him up, and then he just gives it to us, I guess. Cool.
Beating you is hard.
Yeah, so we needed that.
Not once either. Put the football gear on. I'm disappointed.
So we needed to get this for Squidward, I guess. I mean, granted, we could warp back, but there is also a spatula at the end of the slide. So, yeah.
Risky. Didn't even activate the warp box.
Wait, did I not activate the warp box?
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, hold on. You don't need. I just remembered you don't need to. Because if you activate the second warp box, the game assumes that you've already activated the first.
Oh
so
yeah, that's a speedrunning trick. It just assumes you get both of them if you get the second one.
Oh, okay.
I don't have enough faith in myself to say that I did that on purpose. So I'll
You probably didn't.
So I'll just say that I lucked out there. Especially since I'd need it because...
Oops.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, hold on. We're gonna try that one more time. There we go. I don't remember if that was actually on my second try or if I needed a little bit to...
For the sake of this video, let's just say yes.
You see, but knowing me, it probably was more like take 5, but the fails weren't that funny, so I just cut them out, most likely. Loading. I do like the loading screens in this game as well. It's a nice refresher after... Because I had played the movie game right before recording this, because that was a game I actually had never beaten until earlier this year. And that game's loading times can take over a minute, and sometimes the game will just get hung completely up on a loading screen, and you'll have to turn the game off and turn it back on again.
Ouch.
Which
That
sucks. Yeah, that game was rushed. It came out a year after this one, so it makes sense that they needed it out for the movie. So it's not that surprising.
Yeah, unfortunately that happened quite a bit during that generation.
Yeah, I mean, you go, John.
No,
I was about to say more so than the previous generation. It was around the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era when games started getting way more ambitious and therefore needed more time to cook. But publishers were a little slow to catch up with that reality. So we had stuff like the freaking Legacy of Kain series where everything was undercooked.
Yeah, there was basically a time where developers were making burgers the King Neptune way and not making burgers the SpongeBob way with love and care and affection.
Yeah.
Nice little, ketchup smiley face with the cheddar blanket.
Yeah. So as a kid, this was always my least favorite level. I don't know why. I guess part of it is because this level is, to a bigger extent, more open than many of the others. you kind of zigzag around this big...
It's also a much more vertical level, I've noticed.
Yeah, so this early section, you zigzag around kind of this square-shaped area, and as you go through, you open up the doors so that you can backtrack more easily. But that also means that it's easier to get lost, and then also miss stuff and then have to find it. Like, as a kid, I never found all of the floating steering wheels in order to get the spatula for Mrs. Puff here. And while this game does mark which levels have which collectibles, so you'll always know, okay, I've missed 3 socks in this stage, but you'll never be able to find out, like, where in the stage those 3 socks are. There's nothing like the Spyro Sparks point to the gems, or the Mario Odyssey amiibo thing, in order to give you those little hints, you know, which I suppose is just, you know, a matter of age. Because that's sort of, like, I mean, Spyro was remarkably forward-thinking in that regard. But, okay, if you can't find that one last thing, we're going to give you a little bit of help with that is more of a modern kind of thing. Because I know Ukulele has something that has a power-up that makes, I think it makes a little noise if you're getting close to the last hidden thing in any given world or whatever. So you can play, like, hot and cold like that.
Yeah, so you can sort of just roam around the level and knock out areas rather than looking for the needle in the haystack.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows that trying to find the one last thing is always the worst part of any given 3D platformer. Like, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind, actually, is Mario Sunshine, and trying to find the last red coin. In any stage, mind you. Any of them. Trying to find the last red coin is the worst.
Or I think blue coins are the better example, given that there's no...
Okay, you see, John...
They're mission-specific and all that.
Yeah.
I never bothered looking for the blue coins in Mario Sunshine. Yeah. I haven't submitted myself to that pain because I know better. But you actually have to do... I think you have to do every red coin mission in the game in order to beat it. And okay, well, you don't
no, there's the Fluff Festival in the final one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I guess some people are going to be like, "Oh, but you don't have to do the secret blood ones." But
there are also some from Delfino Plaza that are optional.
Wait, there are red coins in Delfino Plaza?
No, like in bonus stages from there.
Oh, okay, yeah, but
the toy box, like grassy one.
Okay, with that said, you still have to
pachinko.
do like what, 15 red coin missions in order to just see the normal ending of that game.
You have to do far too many, yes.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, I'm sorry. Mario Sunshine is not fun. Oh no, I said those words. Never mind. I regret.
I agree with you. So.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but who are we? I don't like the ball power up.
The ball power up is. It's there.
Mysterio.
There's. I like it. This is actually something that I do like in SpongeBob the movie game, because you can effectively think of SpongeBob the movie game as a sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom, because they run on the same engine and share many of the same ideas. They're very similar games. In that game, instead of the ball power-up just kind of being there for you to go faster for a small period of time, they actually make little Super Monkey Ball-styled obstacle courses that you actually have to guide the ball through. And I think that's a lot more fun, because you actually have to take advantage of its unique movement and physics, as opposed to just like here, where it's just like, okay, I'm ignoring it right now for some reason. I guess because I really want whatever shiny thing is up on that platform over there. All right, but in this game, you really don't ever use the ball for anything much more than you need to move faster around this location for whatever reason. Whereas in the movie game, you actually do need to, like go up slopes in a specific way in order to make sure that you don't fall and whatnot, which is just more fun. I'm also a Super Monkey Ball fan, so that kind of gameplay is just intrinsically fun to me. If you don't like that kind of game, you're probably going to be ripping your hair out trying to play that.
The problem is, compared to Super Monkey Ball, the ball power-up in this game is more bouncy than what you do with Monkey Ball.
The physics for this are ridiculous. If you have not looked up a SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrun, even if you've never played the game before, do yourself a favor and look them up, because the kind of crap you can do in this game is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's all sorts of stuff. Like, there's ways to go like double speed. There's tricks that make you fling all the way across the stage. There's one where SpongeBob will just kind of float in midair. It's insane if you look up glitches to this game. It's a wild ride. So I do really recommend looking them up.
But casually speaking, I just hate how the ball becomes super unruly.
Oh no, I completely understand. Like, it is.
Yeah.
It is a finicky power-up. The saving grace to it is that it's not used very much, and when it is used, the stuff that they do have you do is not that difficult. Like, actually, this thing coming up right now, where you have to bounce off the boat, is probably the most annoying thing that they have you do with it in the entire game.
I think I know you used it again in Rock Bottom. I don't remember the exact context of it.
I might have skipped it. Wow, first try. Okay, I honestly did not expect that, because
this ball's great.
since the boat is weirdly shaped, you can bounce off it in the wrong way, because it's not like you're bouncing off a flat surface. You are bouncing off a triangle, so you can go forward, backwards, and sideways there. But yeah, no, it's an unruly thing. I know that there's a small challenge for it in the Flying Dutchman's area. I actually do not remember the SpongeBob section in Rock Bottom. Maybe I did it for this playthrough, but we'll see. Ow, you jerk.
The one I think the reason I hate that one the most, just off the top of my head, I think is there's a time limit to that one.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. They do try to make the game harder as it goes for those sorts of things, and adding a time limit to that kind of challenge is one of the easiest ways to do that, so that doesn't surprise me. I remember the first half of this game much better than the second half.
Well, that's most games, because you're playing the first half of the game much more often than the later half.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of just me when I was growing up, is that I didn't finish video games very often. I would start a game and then stop for whatever reason, and then I would go back and start it over again, because I didn't want to start a game from the middle when I haven't played in 4 months. You know?
Yep.
It's me with RPGs all the time, even today.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Likewise.
Especially with RPGs, but as a kid, I was always doing so many different things after school, because my parents signed me up for 15 million different extracurricular kind of stuff. So I only ever got to play like an hour a day at most. So so many games I just didn't beat because I didn't have the time to beat them, you know. It was the exception rather than the rule.
Extracurricular stuff that your parents sign you up for.
Oh man, I loved soccer. I loved soccer so much. Playing soccer was my favorite sport.
Playing soccer sucked.
I was so happy to be signed up to soccer up through the 8th grade. It was great. I say with no sarcasm in my voice whatsoever. Also, Sandy just... that wasn't a frame drop for the record. That was a jump cut, because I wandered around for like a good 5 minutes trying to see if there was anything I could do before switching to Sandy, and there isn't. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't...
Oh.
Fantastic introduction to the character.
Yeah, Sandy just kind of appears. Like, they don't explain why she's willing to help or whatever. She's just there.
Around.
Yeah.
Kind of like she's just there in the show.
Yeah.
What's with this frickin' squirrel in a diving outfit? Why?
You see, it's one of the remnants of the... Because this is kind of something that they dropped very early on in the show, was, you know, the idea that they actually were underwater. Like, they really only do a lot with it in the first season, really. And then the characters kind of just were the characters after that, and the fact that stuff was underwater was really just more of a visual theme. Like, they didn't really make that many jokes about it all that often, you know?
And there's only so many jokes you can do with it.
Yeah. I mean, that is true, granted.
Although my favorite is still when they go above water and then they're just puppets.
The realistic objects.
Yeah. And for some reason, Squidward grows 2 extra arms. So anyway, this is Sandy. She is easily one of the most fun characters in the game to play.
Oh yeah.
For one, she has the lasso, which basically gives her a slow glide down, and she can also kind of swing on those little Texas. Damn it!
For someone who can fly, you're falling down a lot.
No, she doesn't fly.
I mean, theoretically, she could swim. So, I mean, nothing's stopping them from swimming back upwards. But, you know. But yeah, so she can swing off of those little Texas things for a little mini Spider-Man type action. The momentum to that is really fun. And just having... It's such a simple ability, but the slow glide it's really fun in games like this for whatever.
Practical.
Yeah, the grapples on the grapple points, that's another thing that reminds me of Ratchet and Clank, actually. There's a device that you get fairly early on that does a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like Metroid's Grapple Beam, only fun.
Same kind of deal.
Because I never really found the Grapple Beam in
It's
Metroid
awkward
Prime.
in first person. It really
and
is.
it's useless. It's useless when not in first person. So, you know, you can't really win, unfortunately.
Well, the grapple beam in the 2D Metroids was you can sort of grapple on a bunch of surfaces, couldn't you?
No, there were only these very specific
Right.
grapple.
This is your I don't know how to wall jump to.
I must be thinking of something else.